That was a hell of an experience. Hey, I saw you streaming indie horror and wanted to know if you considered checking out my game I made. It's about 15 to 20 minutes if you're interested and there's no AI involved. If you're not, no worries. Yeah, no, I'd be more than happy to. House Call by helloitscrash. Okay, let's try it. I like the way it looks. It's a short, okay, I'll go ahead and give it the exact same treatment that I normally give it. This is crazy. I've never had this happen before.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again.
It's special when someone joins your stream, asks you to play their game, and it ends up being really good. And I will say that everything in this game, the presence, the color, the sound, even the title screen itself, weighs on you with the unrelenting attention of a patient demon waiting to take over your body. Dramatic? Maybe. But Crash just released this on Steam, and in order to really understand what I'm talking about, I urge you to play the game first. It's a quick 10-minute love letter to the horror point-and-click Flash games of old, and it's worth every second. Don't feel bad if the puzzles stump you. My brain didn't bite even with the developer literally typing in my chat. God damn. Dude, I'm fucking fried. So consider this your definitive spoiler warning. If you want to be uniquely surprised by someone else's work who's virtually unknown as far as ratings and game platforms go play it now. Otherwise, I'm going to be breaking the experience down piece by piece and highlighting exactly everything Crash did right from the very beginning. And I'll be including some fun little tidbits I found in the game's files as well. So without further ado...
You have one unheard message.
Answer the phone. You have a house call. I mentioned previously that the title screen weighs on you. This is what you're greeted with before you start the game. Immediately, the atmosphere is tense. When you start, you receive a call. You pick the phone up and hear the following.
Unheard message.
Hello? Are you there? My name is... I need your help. I think there's something in my house. I don't know what to do. Please, I need you to come here right now. Please, hurry.
Driven by perhaps your own good-natured intentions or the fact that this may be a relative or someone you care about, you quickly depart to the address you're given. You roll your window down and you're greeted with this. And if the tense atmosphere doesn't pulverize you, the state of the indoors just might. The TV is on the floor, everything is strewn around, the dining room has flies in it and a glass full of wine, which suggests something might be here. Of course, when you look at the clock, that may become apparent. Something moves in the reflections and the shadows of the house, stalking each and every move as you draw closer to this hallway. And there you are, staring at the door that holds this voice captive. You make your way forward and bump into this potted plant. Nice going, by the way. I'm sure the owner will appreciate that. You pick up the crumpled ball of paper that rolled out and you're given a cryptic code which seems to coincide with the symbols to your right. X is a given. You approach the door and it's a combination lock. You know that since you have X, that the rest of the symbols must be hidden somewhere, so you start moving back through the house. But before you can, you go into the kitchen. It's a damn mess. The only clickable object is the sink, and upon interaction it fills with water. And that's all... Oh, that's a fucking human arm. Most people would turn and get out now, but you're not most people for some reason. And, well, didn't you see a hand on the paper? This is the first puzzle, and on stream it took me a minute, but you're smarter than I. You approach the arm and you remember the numbered fingers. So you count until the ring, and that is your next number, and that solves the square. You run to the combination lock and punch it in the right slot. Then, you move back into the dining room. If you inspect the plate on the far end, you get this beautiful table setting. This is our finest dish, flies en frites. Good protein. Again, I struggled with this puzzle, but you're smarter than I. You already looked at the clock on your way in, and that scratch on the plate lines up suspiciously well to the clock on the wall. When you click the spoon, it tilts. And if you've got a keen eye, you'll note that lining it up so that it looks like a clock is the answer, and the corresponding number is what you'll be using for that slot in the code. Back in the living room now, you inspect the painting on the right. This is the clue to the next painting. You take the eye away and... we have the code now. Let's go input it.
one unheard message.
Hello? Are you there? My name is... I live in... I need your help. I think there's something on our side.
And this entire time, you were honeypotted. We don't know who this voice is over the phone, but we do know whoever they are, they're long gone. Your stomach sinks as far low as it can when you turn the flashlight on and begin to spin, and you suffer the same fate that befell the voice on the tape. It'd be remiss not to cover this game's sense of style when it comes to horror. Of course, I had a brain aneurysm and compared it to Five Nights at Freddy's in the first few minutes of my first playthrough. The 3D effect, even though we're only looking back and forth, has that like Five Nights at Freddy's 1 where like the office is 2D but it's 3D, but it's way more than that. Being able to sift room to room and not being told a damn thing about the house itself is amazing. And when I was finished, I found myself wanting more from the game's lore, so I did what any normal 24-year-old with too much time on his hands would do. I broke into the game's files. Now I hope by this point in the video you guys have played through the game yourselves. I found myself fascinated by this world after streaming, and I wanted to know if there was any deeper lore points to this game. Cracking it open, you're greeted with, well, all this. I'm not a game developer, so it may as well be a cuneiform tablet smeared with goat's blood and myrrh, but somehow all of this adds up to that experience we saw before. The first thing I wanted to check out were the scenes themselves in the game's files, and you'd be shocked at how Crash took something as bright as the front of this house and turned it into something that genuinely turns your stomach over when you roll the window to the car down upon starting the game. Starting out, the images look like... but Crash turns them into...
Темная ночь, только пули свистят по степи, только ветер гудит в проводах, тускло звезды мерцают.
And I think that's something special. I've always loved taking the seemingly mundane or even bright looking things and viewing them from angles that make you kind of freak out a little bit. And the scariest thing about this game isn't the house guest, although holy fucking shit, that's a big ass mouth. It's the questions this game places in your mind. Here's a couple off the dome. If the being is the house guest, then the house doesn't actually belong to it. Does it belong to the voice on the phone? Well, I'm not sure. We rushed to this voice's rescue, so we're probably close to them. But the game specifically states that we go to the address provided. So we're being led off track into this thing's freaky, large-ass mouth. And speaking of the voice, I refuse to believe this is a random caller. And the reason I do is because if it was, it kind of raises the question as to why the voice didn't call 911, or why we stupidly rushed to its defense in the first place. We know this voice, and hearing this voice in this state of fear, we rush to its rescue without thinking. That leaves maybe 3 options. The least likely is that this is a friend of some sort. Kind of likely is maybe it's a lover or a close relative. But in my personal opinion, the only thing strong enough to make you completely disregard your own safety and jump into the fire to the point where you would frantically spend your time solving puzzles to save this voice is the type of love a parent has for their child. But that leads to another deeper question. What was that child doing? And how did they end up here? And also, how did this end up here? Oh, that's just really fucking cool. Crash let me know this was actually taken out of the game, but originally after the game was over, you would be able to kill a bunch of house guests in a Doom-style shootout in front of the house. Moving back to the actual game, that arm in the kitchen, are we going to just gloss over that? Once again, it raises more questions than answers. Clearly this person was married, and it's an integral part of the puzzles, and I'm wondering if maybe these puzzles are telling a story instead of being entirely random. An overarching theme in this game is an infatuation with the past and death. Plucking out the eyes of a classical horse, or solving the actual time on a clock with a plate full of dead flies. which is another image of death, or the fact that you knock a houseplant over to get your first clue, thus uprooting and killing it, or maybe the most in-your-face version of all with the decaying, hanging arm of what I'm presuming to be an older, married lady. One almost wonders if the house guest was not invited in the physical sense. I mean, he doesn't look like a person. He moves fast and stalks you, and somehow he's cloned the voice of someone you love to target you specifically. But then there's also this, located in the game's files, and it completely twists everything you thought you knew. There are 2 codes for the padlock. According to the game's files, the first code is auto-generated with a random selection of numbers. But there is one unifying code no matter what version of the game you have or when you play it, and that code is 7734. Funny enough, it's the last 4 digits of the number you received the call from, and it takes you in the game files to a room named Storm, and this is what happens. In the game files, this is referred to as sprite_laughing, and when I first got jumped with it after the creator had let me in on the secret on stream, I thought it was genuine gore. He maintains it's just a Photoshop, and I'm inclined to believe him. Hopefully we don't have a Half-Life 2 burnt corpse case on our hands, but I doubt it. The truth is that Crash is just very good at visual manipulation and atmosphere, but it backs my theory of a house demon from earlier, and that's only because the numbers, when mirrored, spell hell. And also, that's like confirmed from the creator himself. That's why he picked those numbers. So the laughing sprite isn't us. Our corpse is shown in the credits at the end, and it doesn't appear to be the house guest or the face of a lady from the hanging arm. This could be the face of the person we came to rescue, laughing at us from hell as the storm devours you. Funny enough, the Steam achievement for this is called enucleation, which I find quite funny. If you don't know, that's a surgical procedure where they, remove your fucking eye. Of course, this is all only my interpretation of all the stuff I've been given. At heart, I'm a storyteller, and I think the beautiful thing about all forms of art is that you're taking someone else's software, in this case, Crash's house guest, and running it on your hardware. However the story unfolds itself to you is how it's chosen to present itself, and good writing, atmosphere, and great horror allows your brain to fill those gaps in yourself. It makes you ask questions and go crazy to connect the dots. Connect the dots.
Connect the dots. Connect the dots.
I am so proud to have had Crash pop in on the stream, and I'd love if you showed up too. I stream Friday Night Junkin' every Friday at 7:30 both here on YouTube and Twitch, and I play through brand new itch.io horror releases. I am beyond honored to have played House Guest before its release, and I strongly urge you to sit in the pilot's seat and experience it for yourself. Also, please go check Crash out. I have his Twitter linked in the description too, and I'm very excited to see what else he makes. Thank you so much for watching, and think twice before you answer the phone next time.